Good evening, guys. This is Jonathan Ribble. I'm kind of working on a new project with everything that has been said and done in the last week. I'm kind of, whether you be Democrat or Republican, um, doesn't matter your affiliation, doesn't matter your religious orientation, doesn't matter what country that you were born in. Probably I'm going to get into trouble with my constituents, my clients. However, I'm going to start reporting the news with positive spin. One thing I think is missing with the news is having some positivity behind the news. And I'm really excited. I want you to go to the link that's in this video, guys. Go to the link that's in the description. There is a link to our YouTube. Now, our YouTube has just started today, our YouTube channel that I've created called The Positive Switch. Good news for a change. We're going to be broadcasting news that you hear with a positive spin to it. So whether it be something about what a certain administration has done, the news, the weather, the hurricanes, whatever it is, we're going to try to report as we see it, but we're also going to give a positive spin on it, on what we can learn out of it. I got that inspiration. I woke up early this morning, and I'm so tired of all the negativity on everything news. It's like I calls one station continual negative news. You don't know where to turn. Every time we turn on the news, it is constant negativity on what everybody did bad, not anything what anybody has done good. Uh, no matter where you are, I pray for the next president. I pray for Biden. I pray for Harris. I pray for the amount of pressure that job holds. I pray for all world leaders that they would be given wisdom and direction, and they would actually start doing some things for their people. I pray for the House of Representatives and the Senate. I pray for them. I do, and I ask for wisdom to be given to them to lead our country, to lead the world in the direction that it needs to go. But I'm really, really excited about what I'm. I got a lot of irons in the fire, but I'm just coming to you tonight to please go to that YouTube channel in the link. There's a link in this. Please go and just subscribe to the channel. Just subscribe to it. There's nothing on it right now. We're going to be coming at you with viewpoints on the news with no spin other than a positive look. Like if it's a negative story, we're going to bring a positive viewpoint to it, what we can learn from it. For instance, the happenings at the Capitol, and it's another reason I'm doing this is it's getting to a point where we're afraid to say anything anymore. We're afraid to say anything, and I think that's where these giants want us to be. Well, we have to say we got to fight back against the giants in a good way. We got to use our voice. If you don't use your voice, guys, you're going to lose your voice. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. And I think sometimes we're even afraid now. We're like walking on eggshells. We've been cooped up in our homes for 10 months, but now we're walking on eggshells. And I just want to bring some good positive feedback. I think the question of the day is not how could that happen last week at our nation's capital, but why did it happen at our nation's capital? And I think that a lot of people, no matter who did it, no matter if it was president supporters or not, I think on both sides of the aisle, I think people have just been angry. They've just been frustrated with empty promises, over promising, under delivering. And that's why I think things went the way they did. And now the I think the instead of trying to heal, instead of trying to, when you get a scar, when there's a cut and you dig at it, it gets worse. And I think sometimes, yes, there's anger, there's frustration, because I think, really, to be honest, the politicians felt what the average person feels every day of their life. They felt a little bit of it every day of their life. What they felt for one 15-minute, 30-minute, however long it took, each person in this world has at some point felt that. How am I going to pay my bills? I'm losing my home. I'm losing my job. I've lost my business. My taxes are higher than they normally are. All these things are pent up in people. And then you tell them to stay home. They don't have a job. They don't have a livelihood. And then they get to, and then with the election and all of the things, if our politicians, no matter where you are in the world, if our politicians would begin to listen to the people versus govern the people, just listen to them and really begin to take their needs to heart. And so I'm really excited about this new endeavor. I just ask that you go to the link, just subscribe, just support me if you would. But I'm going to be reporting on the news of what happened, and I'm going to bring a positive twist to it. I think it's so important to bring positive things. We can learn a lot from what took place last week, versus pointing fingers, versus saying who did it, who was wrong, and why they did it. They're going to hold those people accountable, and rightly they should. That may be the people's house, but it is a government office. And just as you want them to respect that house, I think we all need to respect the office of the President of the United States, no matter who they are. You respect the office. You may disagree with them. You may not like them. You may say they're doing everything wrong, but they have the highest office in the land. And that's why I don't always agree with this banning of the president's account, because you think he might do something. No, it's just control. But in the light of all of that, we can still learn that we can be gracious. I read a statement. It said, "Lord, help my words to be tender and gracious today. For tomorrow, I may have to dine on them." But instead of being angry with each other, united we stand, divided we fall. And I believe the governments of the world really want us to be divided. They want us to be angry at each other. They want us to hate each other. They want us to keep fueling the fire of fervent hatred. And I think the best thing to do for us is to get out our fire extinguishers, and that we would share kind words with one another, and we would encourage one another, and that we would motivate each other to love and to good things. I think if we would do that, and if we would all consider others as better than ourselves. So in light of what happened at the Capitol, I think it was kind of a hearing aid check for the politicians. And they failed the test, unfortunately. We don't have to. They failed the test. They didn't get the message. They didn't hear the tone in their left ear or their right ear. They still think, oh, I can't believe, how could this happen? I don't think they need to ask how anymore. How the security was sloppy, how in some instances I thought I saw people being ushered in. It wasn't as secure as it should have been for having 100,000 plus people. But here's the good news. Out of 100,000 plus people there, to have only 53 people they're looking at for crimes, that's a very small percentage. It could have been a lot worse. It could have, the restraint on people to even go into the house, to recognize the respect that they had. There was a lot of idiots, but the others were well restrained. But I will say politicians need to listen. That's it. But I'm so excited about the news that we're going to be reporting. We're going to be reporting on the weather, and we're going to be reporting on just the different things. But we're also going to bring a positive twist to the things out there. So if you like that, please let me know. Then again, in the description, there is a link to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe to it. Starting tomorrow, there's going to be some stories on there, and looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, keep positive, keep your eyes on the goal, and but again, use your voice. And if you don't use it, you'll lose it. Don't let them silence you. Don't let them silence you. It's exactly what they want to do, and so don't be afraid. Just think before you speak sometimes, but there's still if we don't stand up and speak our voice and use our voice, we are going to lose the right to use it. So guys, have a great day, and God bless you, and have a great night.